And right now we're in the middle of winter, and it's a flourishing garden. Yeah. I mean, this is why I prefer growing. I love growing in winter. Experientially, I mean, the look and I mean, you can just see it's amazing, the colors. So from that standpoint, it really, it's a lot of sustenance for the eyes. So I had to try, and first when I got here, the first thing I did was to start changing how the beds are utilized in terms of rotations, and that's market gardening. I love this carrots in wintertime. The colder soils affect the root system in a way that the roots, in order for them to kind of, in a way, protect themselves, they draw in, because root systems are generally releasing sugars into the soil. In wintertime, they're like, they'll suck it all up, and then you'll pick that carrot and it'll be like the sweetest carrot. It's like a little lollipop. Yeah? Who's coming? Who's coming? Okay, you're coming. Oh my god. So these are our chickens at 58, and they're all hens. We're missing a rooster, which I think the girls are a little bit sad about because they want a boy in their life. So every time I come in and I go, how's the girls? They come running. They're like, oh, there's a guy. Like, I've gone into experimentation with various different types of plant material that would work in a market garden to rehabilitate, restructure soil. So rye is a grain. So its root structure is a little bit different. It's more hair-like. It spreads out. Whereas then you get some green manures that are more bulbous root structured, like radishes, daikon radish, which goes more into the soil, breaks it up. But the reason why I've gone for rye is I want that fine root system. Through green manuring, if you bring in enough organic material into the soil and it's going through its natural life cycle like a forest, and it decomposes into the soil and it starts to give structure, there's a life force, there's a layer, a life energy that therefore behaves in a way that nitrogen will just naturally go into the plant. The plant itself will pull it out of the air, and it'll pull it out of the soil in the right amounts. And the thing is that we over fertilize our fields. Nitrogen is the biggest problem. We put too much nitrogen. The plants can't take it. It's like when you take in all your vitamins, you take it and then you pee out like this giant calumia, and you're like, whoa! It's like your body's like, okay, I've got enough, thanks very much, and the rest is going away. I really believe that seeds have a consciousness to them that tie in with the grower. And chamomile I had the most interesting experience with, where it forced me to focus on this plant so much that then it began to flower. And when I first came to 58, what I did was I wanted one bed dedicated to chamomile, and there were only 8 plants planted in here, but you can see how they've spread, taken the whole year just to make itself established. Now I know that in summer season this plant will open up and create beautiful flowers and florets, and it's the one flower that just has an amazing effect on the nervous system. I love chamomile. It's the hardest plant I've had a relationship with, for me. I mean, every grower you'll speak to will have their own story in terms of their relationships, but this one, this guy.
So that's just really cool.
Yeah, I mean, each plant, from leaf, fruiting, rooting, those 3 plus your herbals. I mean, alliums, leeks, onions, garlics, they have a very unique effect on the soil. Garlic being your long season crop, and the smell in the soil when you work with the soil with garlic is amazing. But if you plant another vegetable near a garlic bed, it's going to taste like garlic.
We generalize spray as being like pesticide, herbicide, fungicide, and that's obviously the antithesis of our belief system and the way we're operating. And you spray? So I just, maybe you can clarify.
So
a lot more
I don't
careful.
put on a mask and a hazmat suit
unnecessary,
when I spray my garden, you know. So we're spraying natural biology that's already present on the land, except what I spray is called EM, effective microorganisms, which actually originates from Japan. Like, you take that concentrate and you dilute it a little bit and you spray it on your plants. Woo! The plants are like, thanks man, this just gave me speed. I like to call it homeopathic dosing. my worm tea. It's my worm tea. And worm tea is like, it's actually leach aid. It's when people, it's plants decaying and it's their liquid. So it has a small amount of value. The real value is in the casting. It's the worm poop. And you take that and you dilute that in water, and that becomes a foliar spray. Worm casting is probably the best foliar spray out of all of the plant ferments. That's the best. And this is the system. Let that mix up, and then when I turn on the irrigation system,
Wow, that's so cool.
I just turn that on, and then what happens is there, you see that suck.
Yeah.
It starts to suck the juice, and it starts sending it off into the garden. So I don't have to go with a backpack sprayer anymore.
That's incredible.
We just turn the irrigation on and it sprays all the
And
vegetables.
it's already in there and diluted, and you can control the volumes.
Yeah. So, and then we wait a day to see what's happening depending on what you're seeing, like if there's plants are showing signs of stress, or plants are battling in some way or another, they might stunted growth, you make a plant ferment. Put in some comfrey, put in some nettle, put in a flower range like dandelion as a pest issue. So if you've got summertime pest issues, dandelions, do a ferment of that. Because there is the allopathic medicine, and then there's homeopathic medicine. Homeopathic medicine understands that in small quantities you can ignite the natural healing system within a plant or within the soil. Worm castings, powerful. They compartmentalize just the value in the plant, but they don't see the value in the flower itself. Like, I can allow these to go to seed and then save the seed, and now I've got something else. But why I am keeping them is because their flowering is inviting, it's middle of winter, pollinators will come inside here. And then also it becomes like our chickens behind you are scratching. At a point, once it's flowered and it feels like it's had its time, we'll pick them out and they'll go to the cycle to the chickens. Nothing's wasted. It's got a support system somewhere. It's helping the soil. It's helping the animals on the land. These are mustard, baby spinach, and apparently someone's growing some weed here. So a mix, and then we've got these are our winter crops, and there's a couple beds for our summer crops, which has got green manures in them. And you can't really see right now because they're quite small, but these are all of our lettuces, our red lettuces in here. We've got onion sets that have just been planted yesterday that are going to slowly come through. You'll see one coming up. So bulbing onions and another bed of lettuce. And it's like 1 month. You'll go into the shops and you'll generally find your three main varieties, your Kos, your romaine, your crisps. Here at 58, we are trying out various different types of lettuces. Okay, that there's loss. Working with nature teaches you that there's a give and take. I mean, right here, if I pull one up now, I mean, these ones probably not really ready, but let's see. Here's a nice. They don't want to come up. They're fighting me. So let me pull up a bunch. There we go. I mean, these ones are still young, but you get the idea.
For us, what it is you're spraying and this philosophy.
Spraying holy water. We just go in and we're like, we chant over our plants. We sing to them. We're like a hippie village here.